What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today is July 1st, and these are the videos that I don't like making. July 1st, 2001. So it's been 14 years today that my cousin Christopher passed away in a drunk driving accident. He was in the car with someone who was driving drunk. And the last couple of years I've made these videos about him, and they're all up right now. They're in, like, probably, obviously they're way back in the day video wise. And this is the first time I've had to go through the anniversary of his death when I was alone, meaning that I'm not with Kari, I'm not with my ex-girlfriend Angelica, who I was with before I dated Kari, and before that I lived in Rhode Island, so I had my family around me. So this is the first time I'm actually sitting in this house alone on the anniversary of his death. And, you know, I think about him every day. I think about the things that we said and did. And we're going to do a little story time today here with him too. And my mom made this little book for me for Christmas one year. And it was pictures of us, like there's actually Polaroids and stuff of us in here when we were kids. And she made it so that I could have memories of him and I together. I'll show you a couple of these pictures of us. Like, this is how, obviously we were very, very young, but that's me with the light colored hair. That's him with the dark colored hair. And you could always find us together. You know, whether school was out or the weekends before we even went to school, we were always together. He was there, he's watching out for me. We were best friends, we were cousins. And he was my go-to guy for everything. My go-to person, my go-to friend for everything. And it's been 14 years. And here's a picture of me and him in the backyard fucking around with golf clubs. I'm not really sure what the fuck we were doing. I'm wearing the blue hoodie and he's wearing the red one. And this is one of the last pictures we have of him before he passed away in the accident. And, you know, this year I've gone through some changes in my life. I've done some soul searching, some thinking, what things are important, what things aren't important, who's not important in my life, where I want to go, how much time do I have left? You know, that's a question that always comes up. Mortality always comes up when you think of death for me. You know, Christopher, he was young. He didn't have a lot of time left, but he lived his life on the edge, like pedal to the floor, just nonstop. And I hear things on a daily basis that, you know, the word banana peel. Banana peel. He used to call me a banana peel. I have no idea why. You know, it just, you know, like turbo rapid fire. There were phrases that he said that only he said, that every once in a while I'll hear, someone will say it was like the turbo edition or like turbo rapid fire. And I'll laugh to myself because it reminds me of him. And I'll never forget, we were young. This is the story time part. And this is a story that my cousins Heather and Beth might remember. I mean, we were young, so when I was a kid, I had this mongoose bike that my parents got for me, and I loved this bike. It was my favorite color. It was like this powder blue color or whatever blue color it was. It was blue. It had like the rotor on it, the pegs on the front, pegs on the back, and this thing was all sorts of done up. And I loved this thing. And when we were kids, you rode your bikes everywhere. You ran around and played in the woods. You rode your bikes everywhere. So my parents drove me and my bike to Warren, which is where Christopher and my cousins lived. And we decided we were going to take our bikes and go to this kind of little, like, not mall, it's like a little shopping center. And in the shopping center there was a pharmacy in there. And I don't know what, they sold candy and just random fucking shit like that. And I remember I wanted a little address book that you write phone numbers in to keep on. I was like 8. I was probably like 8 years old, literally 8 years old. So I was so small that, so I wasn't riding that bike by that time. So yeah, I was about 8 years old. And I stole it. I took the thing and I put it in my pocket, and he didn't know it. My cousins didn't know it. And we left. There was no cameras back then. There was no mirrors, none of that bullshit. And we left the store. Now on the way back to his house, we're riding down the street. There was a couple side streets that cut back through everything. We're riding on the side street, and all of a sudden my bike feels really weird. It's kind of moving like this, and I look down, fucking messages. I look down, and the fucking tire is flat. And I started to lose my fucking mind. I thought immediately what my grandmother had drilled into our heads since we were kids, God is punishing me. God knows I took that book and he's punishing me. So I start to cry because my bike is fucked up and my parents are going to be pissed because I got the pop tire on the fucking bike and I stole the thing and now God's punishing me, so I feel bad for that. Like, overall, I'm having a fucked up moment right now. And Chris calms me down. He's like, shut the fuck up. Calm down. I mean, even as kids, we talk like this. Shut the fuck up. Calm down. We'll take care of it. So we walked our bikes back to his house. And then he took the tire off my bike. So he was probably about 11. He was probably 11 years old. He took the tire off my bike, which I had never seen the tire off my bike before, so I was freaked out. And he pulls the fucking thing out. And he says, okay, here's the deal. We need a new inner tube. So I'm like, I don't know, where am I going to get an inner tube? The inner tube was about $2.50. I mean, they were cheap back then. So he runs in the house and he's got like his little cash stash. 11-year-old with a cash stash. I don't know what the fuck, where did I fucking get that? So he comes out with like $3 and we get on his bike and we ride double. So like I'm sitting on the fucking thing and he's, pedaling, and we ride down to the bike shop down the street on Child Street and Arlington Avenue. And we go in the bike shop and we buy a tire. Now the whole time I'm just like, my parents are going to fucking kill me. I'm so upset. And he's like, just shut the fuck up, calm down. We're going to take care of it. Nothing is going to happen. Everything's fine. Like, my parents don't know, your parents don't know, everything's going to be fine. So we go back to his house, and he's putting the inner tube on. And we're kids. We don't really know how to fucking put this thing on. And he's trying to put it on with a screwdriver, and he slips and pokes a fucking hole in the fucking tube. And now I'm like, oh, shit. Like, that's it. Now, the shit's going to hit the fan. Like, it's all over. And he's like, calm the fuck down. 11 years old, he knew enough to put that tire back in the little box that it came in, the little cardboard box. He rolled it back up perfect, brought it back, fucking messages, brought it back, and told the guy when we opened it, it had a hole in it. Guy exchanged it with no fucking questions. We got back home, he put it on there more carefully. We pumped it up with this little foot pump that you like, right? And the bike was good to go. And my parents never found out, his parents never found out. And I kept that address book for a long time. I mean, I lost it throughout the years, but I don't even know why I wanted to have my friends' phone numbers. Like, we didn't even fucking, there was no cell phones or anything like that back then, so I didn't even have that many friends that you'd have to write the phone numbers in. For whatever reason, I wanted it. But not only did he calm me down, but he kept me out of trouble, got me situated so that everything was cool by the time my parents got there, and explained to me that, hey, it's not a fucking big deal. Don't worry about it. Let's go play in the woods, the fucking sticks and knives and swords and all the other shit that we had. And I look back and I was like, I look back at that one particular time, and so many times he would watch out for me. So many times there was one time I got jumped in the bathroom by a couple guys, and I was sent home, and I was with him and this guy, Jimmy Shears. Jimmy, if you see this, we're driving down the road, and he sees them. He jumps out of the car and fucking blasts them in the fucking face and starts fighting these guys. And he's like, every time I fucking see you, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, whether it's in school, on the street, whatever. And like him and this other kid, Rob Stevenson, they had this fucking big problem because he was going to fuck him up every time he saw him. He didn't care. Like, just because I had, gotten beat up in the bathroom, this guy Rob wasn't even involved in it. He was just kind of like a bystander that happened to be there and didn't stop it. Shit like that, like getting me jobs, like at Belasco's and stuff with him. Like, fuck, I miss him so fucking much. But 14 years has gone by, and it feels like it was yesterday, literally. So those of you that see this, that have someone like that who's in your life that watched out for you and does watch out for you, and is your go-to person, and they mean everything to you, soak up everything that you can, because when it's fucking over, it's over. And if you're the one that's gone, it's going to be fucking horrible for them. If they're the one that's gone, it's going to be fucking horrible for you. Enjoy every day like it's your last. Run like somebody left the gate open, as they say. One of those memes with the dogs on it. But bottom line is, don't take anything for granted. Like, I look back and I didn't think about that shit as kids at all. The stuff that he did, I didn't even think about that because it was just him, who he was, and what he did. But I look back at as an adult and, like, he loved me. He loved me like I was his own brother, like I was his own kid. Man. Well, there's not much more to say. I don't want to talk anymore. bios3training@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.bicepstraining.com is a blog. It's the 14-year bicep, Chris, for you. We're out.